Hello there. I'm Dan Hollifield, and you're not. Sorry about that. There's only room for one at the top. Welcome to Last Man Standing, the official after show for Stupid O'Clock. We had a good time tonight. Let me tell you, it was, well, shall we say, entertaining is too small a word. You'll just have to watch Stupid O'Clock on the rerun. I'm sorry, and that's just the way it is. If you missed it, you missed it. But it was fun. It's always fun. Sometimes it's enlightening. Tonight was one of those enlightening times. Felt like lightning struck me 2 or 3 times, but then that's just Rich and Joe Bachman telling jokes that I thought was going to leave me breathless with giggles. Just trying trying to keep a straight face when I know that ain't possible. No, no, no. This crew. And speaking of which, we've got Rich here, we've got Joe Bachman, and we've got the absolutely adorable Aunt Donna. And oh Lord, Joe Dog is here. Oh, okay. Is there any way to ban this sucker? No, because this is his account. So now there were moments that we touched on that I don't believe anybody's ever been touched in that way before. But if they had, there'd been a
And
law
all
against it.
for
So
18 years of age or older and gave consent. We've got the
oh,
signed consent papers in the other room.
yeah. Well, the only papers that's in the other room in here is what does this say? Commitment for. Oh, I ain't reading that. I ain't signing nothing. I've been committed too many times. But here we have it, folks. Our regulars and our irregulars are here to enjoy another Sunday morning stint of madness. Um, Mike Jimmy may wake up soon and decide to grace us with his presence. And that is not in any way a sarcastic comment because we really enjoy Mike Jimmy popping in. Now,
I think it's 6 o'clock for him right now in the morning.
Mm-hmm. So he will either wake up very shortly and need a cup of coffee, or he will be in a hurry to get to work and not have time for our nonsense. But
Well, it's Sunday for him, so unless he's working a gig that's working him on Sunday. But
Yeah.
hey, this is
Luz
true.
was
But
on a trip, so he might also be contacting her while she's got signal, if she's got signal on that trip too.
this is true. I didn't know that that Luce was taking a trip. So
Yeah, that's why he went and dropped on us for a few minutes last Saturday, I think it was, so he could spend some time talking to her. And I think he said she was going to be away for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
oh, and I've just been threatened. Yeah, well, you know, I'm not poor. Take that any way you want to take it. This show can go on the road.
We can rebuild it faster, stronger, without using blue pills.
Sometimes
but
faster
if
isn't
you-
better.
If you can, does that mean you should?
Well, no, see, that's the thing. Just because I can do something doesn't mean that it's a good idea.
Sure it
Might
does. Oh,
might seem like it at the time, but there's always repercussions. And
Yeah, but
yes, I
then
did say that correctly. Um,
you got some excellent stories later on.
believe me, if I told everything I know,
Yeah,
yeah, that not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Nope, nope, nope. I do have product loyalty. Um,
hi Barry.
Somebody's stressed out.
Oh,
aw,
oh,
pretty kitty.
There were people in the house that he did not realize or recognize earlier, dropping off a large object towards where he used to hide, and he is too chubby to get under.
Oh, the couch.
Yeah, or at least when it's in couch mode, because it is a hide a bed.
Ah, those are always useful.
hmm,
Yeah, 20 years ago, I'm like, I have a lot of friends that come over and we watch movies and stuff in my room. So, having it as a couch at part of the time and then being able to sleep on it at night is a good thing. Yeah, and the salesman lied to me. Oh, yeah, this will be able to handle your fat ass. He didn't say it in those exact terms, but yeah,
Those were the way you heard the words. Oh, come
yeah,
on now.
it did it held me fine all by myself as a bed, but it sure as hell did not hold up to uh, partnerships. Um, and we'll leave it at that because this is not the green room.
Hey. Kiri is
and so it
seriously being
continues.
competed with.
Well, and it's spreading because look at all that John came up with.
You got to remember, John's been around Joe Dog for a long time.
that poor soul.
And we could probably prove criminal intent if we really tried, but
What
would it
about
be worth
John
it?
weaponizing Joe Dog?
That's
Because
one. I was thinking
John does make him the pickled stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking the
We
other
are not
direction,
looking in
but
your eye that way.
I was thinking the other direction actually, where Joe Dog's weaponizing. He is chief of security for Hallowcon, so um, anything can become a weapon.
Mhm.
That's the nice thing about being human. Anything that you touch can become a weapon in an extreme circumstance where you need one.
There is only one weapon as far as humankind is concerned: the mind. Everything else is just a tool to accomplish whatever goals.
That is entirely true. Yes. And Joe, if you don't stop doing that, I'm going to quit flashing you up on the screen. Uh,
Oh, we need to flash Joe? Oh, wait.
I ain't flashing Joe. Mm-mm.
yeah, he ain't earned that right yet.
Nope, not with this Donna. No, I had a friend back in grade school, and even at that young age, he had a very professorial look with his horn rimmed glasses and such. And somebody would snap off a pun, and he'd pull those glasses down like this, peer over them, and go, very seriously, the pun is the lowest source of humor. Okay. And then his girlfriend would say another pun.
That'll teach you. You're not getting
Well,
laid until after graduation from high school.
I would have looked at him and went, all right, challenge accepted. I can get lower. Welcome to Humor Limbos with Rich Asplund.
outside of my the stories I wrote, I wasn't too much of a word master, although I was in debate club, and I was, believe it or not, extremely shy. Yeah.
Joe Dog, and just for your edification, I had not only a long nap this afternoon, but I didn't get up till about 12. So, and today is Sunday. I don't have to get up. Period. I can sleep all day. So, I do have stuff I'd have to do around the house tomorrow. So, it would be nice if I could wake up at some reasonable hour, like say 10.
Good night, Joe Dog.
Night, Joe.
Good night,
Here's the
Joe
thing,
Dog.
3 months after Joe Dog falls, he'll be able to spring back into action. But it'll be after his winter of discontent.
There was actually a sporting goods store in England that had a sign in their window that says, "Now is the winter of our discount tents."
Oh.
You got to love it. The level of education over there is pretty good.
I would go in to buy a tent just because.
Just for the fun.
A tent? It's like for that. Okay, yeah, it's. Go ahead and give it as a freebie to the next person that checks out. It's
I don't need a tent, but that was so good. I'm going to buy one. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I want to look up.
Oh, I recently discovered a YouTube channel where there's some about 18 to 20-year-old pair of British guys they came over to the U.S. and started sampling the cuisine over here, especially in the South. And they had never run up against anything in New Orleans before.
Oh my.
And the amount of, oh my God, this is so good, was just getting comical after about the third or fourth video. I'm going, have you not ever tasted actual food before?
No, they're from
they're
England.
British.
I mean, seriously.
If it's not boiled or beans in a tin.
No, that's not true. I have been to a place called a carvery in England, which is the best roast beef you have ever had, with and turkey and not all the fixings that we would put with the stuff over here because they don't have access to those recipes. But my God, they can cook. They don't get everything from an Indian takeaway, although a lot of that's good too, depending on the particular. And it's not all fish and chips, although
those are pretty good.
You find a good chippy, that's excellent, and I would know because Lindsay makes our fish and chips, and I'm just going, this is almost too good to put malt vinegar on, but I will. just because that's the thing. And seriously, British food is underrated. If you go to a place that really knows what they're doing,
Misty
it
gets mad at
is
me and the kids
astounding.
when we go to Long John Silver's if she puts malt vinegar on her fish from Long John Silver's. We'll go to another table, a couple tables over, so we can breathe.
Come on, it's not that stout.
Oh yeah.
It depends on your sensitivity nasally. It's quite potent.
I put it in my tomato juice with a little bit of salt and
I can't stand malt vinegar. But then again, when Mom was canning, so even just regular vinegar, when Mom was canning, she would wake me up early so that I could actually leave the house, and she'd be like, "All right, I'll be done around noon." Around 3 p.m., she's still canning. I'm like, "You lied."
it's noon somewhere, son.
Oh, Rich, have you signed up for a StreamYard plan yet?
No, I'm still doing free.
DM me your email address you use for your account. I will add you as a admin to mine. That way, you could actually just piggyback off mine.
Thank you.
That is an offer that should not be refused.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. I hope that didn't come across the microphone.
I didn't know we were supposed to get the Thunder Show tonight.
All right. Joe Dog's not the only one that likes pinto beans. I'm Southern. I just wish I had some cornbread and buttermilk to go with it, you know?
Yeah, it's last night, of course, St. Patrick's Day, I made traditional boiled dinner, although it's not really traditional from Ireland. It's Irish American traditional. But we had leftovers tonight. And so, yeah, once again, later on tonight, Missy's going to be mad and I'm going to be the gasser. But we always make corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day.
Do you need a cheerleading outfit?
No, I don't plan to do that much psychic damage to my wife.
Now I've just got to go. How did Carl come across a cheerleading outfit in Rich's size? And why? The why is what's really bugging me.
Actually, what's really sad is to piggyback on the putting on the Ritz and Michigan J Frog routine that I have to train my legs to be able to work well enough again to be able to perform for Joe and the chagrin of the New Chicago Shakespeare Company.
Gary Shakespeare Company.
Gary Shakespeare Company is now I've got to figure out how to make a tutu in my size.
Oh, tutus are easy.
But yeah,
So,
Viking helmet, long sword, and a tutu. Putting on the Ritz, and then, hello my honey, hello my baby, hello my ragtime doll. Yeah.
I was going to say, send the dimensions to my wife. She might be able to sew something up for you.
I would actually pay money to see that.
Well, the first show they're doing at our park, I believe, actually falls on a Friday. And the Historical Fencing Guild is going to be the pre-show.
Oh,
Because
wow.
the actual Shakespeare play won't start until 7, I believe. So we're gonna start about 5:30, 6 o'clock ish, and do some live demonstration of swordplay.
And for those of you in the Northwest Indiana region, I believe the dates I have here are July 28th and August 13th.
Yep.
At Twin Oaks Park. Yes, I actually wrote it down. I'm taking it seriously. I'll try not to forget.
If you do, that just means people get to watch Nick and my wife beat the hell out of me with swords. So,
Always a good time. Yes.
but I am going to try to set up one of my devices. I don't know which one yet. With my hotspot, and have Nick log into. Well, actually, Nick wouldn't need to log in. I could actually just do it. And actually start his live stream of Historical Fencing Guild a little earlier than usual for a Friday, and do an actual live stream of fencing.
I do believe StreamYard has a thing to where you can actually start recording, but start the broadcast sometime later while you're still doing the live stream, so that the StreamYard shows up on time and then races to catch up with the real-time recording. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but I do believe it's possible to do that. It would probably work best if the entire thing were pre-recorded first, but then again, it could work. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Joe Dog's the one that knows everything about StreamYard more than StreamYard knows about StreamYard. So, he keeps breaking it. They keep figuring out how to fix it. That's the kind of customer you need. Oh, did you know it would do this? How can we stop it from doing that? Put the best team on it.
When the developer's sitting there going, is that a bug or is that a feature we forgot to list?
Joe Dog found it. It's a feature.
There are no bugs. They are undocumented features.
Is that it?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been in IT for way too long.
Way too long.
I have to laugh. I just received an email from. Well, I didn't just receive it, but I just noticed the email from LinkedIn for a recruiter trying to go ahead and poach me. They're from a AM Law 200 company. So for those that don't know, so in law firms, there's a rating system like there is like for the Fortune 500. And it basically translates to the same thing. So AM Law 200 means top 200 law firms in America. I work for an AM Law 100 company. I'm like, do I really want to step back to an AM Law 200 when I'm in an AM Law 100?
Or do you go that extra mile and make it AM Law 25?
We are working hard. Actually, last year we were like 67 in the AM Law 100.
That's not bad.
So yeah, that's not bad at all. So when and thankfully I don't have to do any of the law stuff. I'm just IT, you know. Um, I just teach people how to work their stuff. Um, but you know, it never hurts to take a look at it either, because you know, here's the other thing is, just because they're AM Law 200 right now, it doesn't mean that they're not busting their ass and might not be AM Law 100 next year. You know.
Yeah,
And
but still,
they could be AM Law 200 and be technically 101.
Yeah, but the thing is, they might have been like AM Law 100 last year. Now they're AM Law 200. You know.
this is true
Um,
too.
so, like I said, it never hurts to you know, take a step back and you know, take a gander and see, because who knows.
Oh, I just learned something new on Excel Friday. Um, it didn't even take
Share
me
with the
2 days.
class.
There is a way to make it look up recently modified files. Say you're making corrections to a list of different files that you use over and over again as templates,
Hmm.
and tell it just look for the ones that have been done from today to 7 days ago, 30 days ago. You pick the time limit, which ones have been updated, and it looks at the timestamp of the file. And if it has not been changed within that timestamp, the range that you set, it ignores it completely, and then we'll update it to your backup directory. All the new stuff that you
Hmm.
have done in the last week, the last 2 weeks, the last month, whatever. Like I said, you can set whatever time limit you want. And I'm going, oh, this is great. And it worked out absolutely perfectly with my um, daily tests of stuff I've got to do. And then I go, oh, well, what about the template files? And I tried that and it wouldn't work. And it gave me a specific error flag. And I looked that up and I go, oh, it's trying to overwrite protected files because these are templates that you don't want to save over top of the template when you're trying to do just a daily report.
Hmm.
It's got to be protected, so you have to pick a new file name, and that's where you get your daily stuff. And then I looked up how to do that, how to make it overwrite and do all, and I'm going, there's more code in this than there was in Windows 95.
Not hard.
Well, I looked at it again and I go, wait a minute, okay, let me see if I can record a macro to do what I want it to do. So I hit record. I went and did what I wanted it to do, looked in the macro, and it was blank, except for the title. It was totally, all the steps just did not get recorded. And I go, okay, well, I know it works this way. And then I go, wait a minute, these are all protected files. If I unprotect the entire directory, which is what I would have had to do, that means that all the old stuff that was supposed to be protected, that I don't use that often, but I don't want to accidentally overwrite, is now going to be able to be accidentally overwritten. So, no, that step doesn't work. It's easier to go in and just use File Explorer and take the entire directory and copy it into the backup directory. than
Mhm.
it is to write code to unprotect everything, copy the new stuff over, and then reprotect everything. I mean, it's that was some extreme coding that it, th- without having to list individual file names, it's very difficult to do, and that would mean 70 files in one directory, some of which have not been touched for 5 years. No point. I will just go, okay, let's go to File Explorer, highlight, copy, paste 50 files with the same file name, overwrite or not, do so, boom, done in 30 seconds.
Mhm.
It's a whole lot easier than writing 6 hours worth of code to try and do the same thing that VBA does not want to do because it has permissions it has to
Work
override.
around. Yeah.
hmm it's much easier. The day to day the reports of the daily tests, because they are no longer absolutely protected. You can copy those without any extra steps. Just click one button, VBA code goes, oh, these are the newest ones. They've been changed within the last 7 days. Copy. That's it. The other stuff, it's far easier to just use File Explorer and do it. It really is, because there's no, even if it's a protected file, you're copying a protected file over another protected file. You're just updating that file. Unprotected file to another unprotected file. You're just updating that file. It
Mhm.
works perfectly in File Manager. It does not work with VBA whatsoever because VBA is very, very worried about permissions to overwrite protected files. So that's a new thing I learned. Sometimes it's easier to do it the hard way.
Mhm.
Oh, uh, yeah. You want to hear a sad story about a stupid update? My niece had she didn't say what happened, none of my business, but she had to write up a report as to what went wrong and how it was handled and send it out to about 10 people. So she got on her work email, did that, sent it, got into work the next day, and boss goes, "Why didn't you tell me about this?" She's like, "Well, I sent you an email." Well, you know how on your phone you have something open and then you kind of swipe it to the side to close it? There had been an update on her email, and now there was this little bitty thin bar across the top. And when she went to swipe it to close the app, she accidentally touched this little red bar that says, once you actually look at it, says unsend.
Oh.
So
Oh.
a written report that went out to almost a dozen people did not get it, not sent to the trash, not saved as a draft, just gone.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
And I don't even use the phone as a computer that often. Um,
I despise typing on my phone.
I'm
Actually,
not
that's one of the
well.
reasons.
I
Mhm.
can do texts back and forth to somebody on my phone. I can't I can't go, "Oh, I'm going to buy something on Amazon and use my phone because that's just too much.
Too much, yeah.
I mean, and the size of the phone screen, and it's touch sensitive. There's there's no way that I want 50 copies of a book by Robert Heinlein. No, just the one. Just the one.
I
Hmm.
will browse on my phone. I usually buy on the computer.
Mm,
Yeah.
I'll add stuff to my cart, and then I'll just swipe out of it, and then go to my computer later on and
and
go,
everything's still in the cart. Yeah.
no, I only wanted one of those, not three.
Hmm.
Why did I want? Oh, because this was suggested, and it was right next to where I was trying to click. Because big stubby finger, tiny screen.
Yeah, tell me about it. I can on the phone. I can get away with making a text and go, "Oh, that's I didn't." Okay, let me correct the spelling on that. It's not the right
Bluetooth
word.
keyboard that I can attach to 3 different devices.
I
Dan,
love that thing. I
Dan,
absolutely love that thing.
Dan
I've
loves
had
these
one of
too.
those.
Dan and I both have. At least
Yes,
Dan used to. I don't know if we've made him
I've,
spit his beer too many times that he's had to
I've got
replace it
I've
again.
got a brand new one that I've never taken out of the box because the wired keyboard has yet to be spilled on.
But
You spill a drink on that, you're out $40.
yeah, I've got this set to my tablet, my phone, and my laptop, so I can switch back and forth depending. So
I the
my
one
friend,
the one that I was used to using had set up to my old desktop, the workstation computer that I use for streaming, and my iPad. It was
the,
awesome.
the only thing that sucks is if you accidentally bump this wheel on the side here
It
and you're not
switches
paying
to the other
attention,
computer.
and it is just barely. So if I have it on 3, which is my laptop, and I just have it barely off 3, it's trying to go to my tablet, which my tablet is currently turned off, and it's like nothing going through. But it looks like it's on 3. That's my only complaint. But
Mhm.
otherwise,
My only complaint is that they are not waterproof.
actually, I take that back. My other complaint is that this right here is not thick enough for my phone.
No, it's built for an iPad.
Hmm.
Um, well, I take it back. It'll fit my phone without the case. And the other thing I wish is that you could actually angle this back a little bit so that if I am typing in bed, I can actually have it kicked up on my knee, have it kicked back a little back so it'll actually keep my tablet, because I can't count the number of times that it's been 1 o'clock in the morning and ideas for stories start rattling around and I can't sleep.
Hmm. I get
No,
complaints from people because they'll Facebook message me and then wonder why I didn't get the message, and I'm like, I don't live on Facebook, folks, and I am not going to put Messenger on my phone. You have my phone number. You should know that means text me. If you
mhm.
have my phone number, there's probably a good reason why.
Now, the only other thing I dislike about that particular uh, keyboard, there is not a dedicated number pad.
Yes, I don't like that either, but I can cope with it because the number of computers I've had to work with over the years that didn't have a dedicated number pad. Um, that's one of the reasons why I started buying the 17-inch laptops back in the day, is because they were the only one that had the integrated number pad on the actual laptop. You
Hmm.
Hmm.
know, now 15s and even occasionally a 13 will have them on the actual.
Yeah, that makes stuff really small at that point.
Yeah,
Um,
it makes me feel like I'm a gorilla typing.
I did see an interesting laptop at Best Buy the other day. It was a smaller one. I think it was a 14-inch. It didn't have the numeric keypad on the keyboard, but there was a little button you could press on the trackpad, and it would light up, and it had the numbers, and you could tap
Really?
the trackpad.
Mm-hmm. And then there is this.
Yep.
A dedicated number pad that you can
You could attach.
Bluetooth to one device. Not 3, not 2, but just one. So
Somewhere over there, I have a dedicated keyboard that is QWERASDF ZXCV spacebar and a couple of numbers for when I was hardcore raiding in World of Warcraft.
Yep. Gamer keypad.
gamer keypad. Yes, indeed.
And it's something like a mouse that just your hand rests over, and you've got easy reach to all of those keys. And then there's like 3 keys to the on the right side for you to hit with your thumb. And
Dang, I need one of those.
And there's a way to reverse it if you're a lefty, so that you're actually doing on that with your right hand.
That's one thing I hate. That's one thing I hate about trackballs. Unless you get the universal basic trackball, most of them are made for right-handed people.
Yeah.
That's the universal trackball. Yes, indeed. I have worn out about 16 of them things. The micro switches finally give out after about two years, maybe 3, and I'm sure
Yeah.
it's just the oils and dead skin cells of my hands clogging up the circuits. I have gone
Cat hair.
through cat hair, yes, dog hair, my hair.
Ooh.
I have actually taken the darn things apart and got some spray and hosed them down over a trash can and cleaned it out so it would work again for another 6 to 8 months before the oils of my skin ruin it again. And
And you
I finally got tired of working on them, so I went ahead and got a regular mouse and plugged it up. And well,
Two of
because
the
I've
biggest
got
mouse calls I used to get.
I don't even want to imagine trying to play World of Warcraft with a mouse.
Oh, I played my old mouse. Oh, my old mouse used to have 12 additional buttons on the side,
Wow.
so that from the mouse you could actually hit all of your
I've been
standard
out
things
geek.
at the bottom.
I've been
Two of
out
the biggest
geek.
mouse calls I used to get on help desk. Number one is when something would happen and someone would accidentally turn their system into trying to respond to the mouse left-handed.
Oh,
Another fun thing is not knowing that the person's a lefty, coming in and it's like, this is not, you're lefty, aren't you? Yeah, how'd you know? Because I'm trying to do stuff, and as I'm clicking, it's not giving me the proper response. But the other is, way back in the day, we used to have mice that had balls in them.
Yeah, then they all got neutered.
And then, it's all the...
now
the crap
they're sharks
that is
with
picking-
freaking lasers on their heads, you know?
all the crap and lint that it would pick up from the desk, and
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
have to pop the ball out, go in there with a Q-tip with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and clean the
and
rollers.
Clean the rollers, yes, indeed.
Oh, Now here's the funny thing. I am technically left-handed. I write left-handed. I cut left-handed. I eat left-handed. Anything else, I am right-handed, including sports. I cannot throw a baseball with my left hand without it landing about, no more than about 5 or 10 feet in front of me, because I just kind of go, eh.
Um,
I catch a baseball with my left, but I can catch better with my right. I can track better with that hand still, which makes it really hard to play outfield when you have the glove on your left hand and you're watching the ball and it's getting closer, and instead of bringing this hand all the way up, you go, ah.
You've heard of people that are ambidextrous?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I'm the exact opposite. I'm neither dexterous. I'm equally crappy with each hand. I can't write. Uh, and the only reason that I've gotten used to having the mouse on my left hand is because I was in a motorcycle accident when I was younger, and there are um, slowly healing bones in my right wrist. Even after 20 years, they're not quite right yet, and I had to switch the mouse over to my left hand so that
Well,
it didn't hurt.
yeah. Well, it confused people when I play pool because I shoot pool right-handed,
But
and
for
until
tricky shots,
well, I had to I had to learn how to shoot left-handed. It's very uncomfortable for me. I have minimal
oh
control.
no, that's one sport where I have equal control over using the pool cue with either hand, and people get really weirded out when you're in one of those impossible shots for a right-hander, and you just go, "Okay, no problem."
Mhm. I yeah, I can switch over. It's just my control over that cue ball at that point is more or less shot. Um, I can still make the shot. It's the control of
you can brute force it. You're not going to finesse it.
right.
This is one of the advantages I had because my when I was younger, my dad bought a pool table and set it up in the basement. And I could go down there and play pool any time of the day or night, and frequently did. And then one of the next door neighbors was a guy that paid for his college education by being a pool shark.
Hmm.
I have to be about a half a pitcher in before I'm okay at pool. I have to be about a half a pitcher in before I'm okay at bowling too. Or I have to be talking a lot of shit in either sport, and the more shit I talk, the better I am.
Well,
Um,
this guy was supposed that he was the master of trick shots, and then he came over and played dad on dad's pool table, and my father understood geometry the way most people understand walking. And dad would just take a pool cue and go, okay, it's got to go there, 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 and then there. How hard? I've got, oh, 17 ergs. Okay. And bap, clear the table. And the pool shark goes, I'm never playing your ass again, motherfucker.
I have
uh,
a buddy like that with pool that can just see
Oh,
bank
yeah.
shots,
hmm
and him and another guy were gambling one night at the pool hall. They were playing banks. They were playing short rack banks, so they're using 9 balls. There's 2 left on the table, and one of the balls is sitting right by his side pocket. And his opponent goes, "Oh, there's no way you can make that shot." And Randy's looking at it. And he goes, 3 rails, cross side. So he goes, it's going to go here, 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 and cut in just past that ball into the pocket. Oh, there's no way you can do that. And he looks at it for a second, hits it, bink, 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 in. Guy got up, handed Randy the money he owed him at that point, and walked out.
Exactly. Well, the thing about Dad, he was a machinist, so
Oh.
he was used to measuring things by eyeball in thousandths of an inch, and he just had this innate sense of geometry. It showed up in all his schoolwork when he was doing the Machinist Institute up in Detroit. I mean, he didn't know that he was doing it. It was just second nature to him. He was a savant basically, and I haven't the faintest. Yes, I do have the faintest idea. When he was a kid, he played marbles.
Mm.
This is during the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
He picked it up then. I'm pretty sure this is just a supposition on my part, but that is another thing where being able to
Marbles is
see
just grade school billiards.
Yeah.
being able to see geometry really pays off. I mean, it's like I know this wasn't the way it was, but you remember the Quantum Leap episode where they were playing pool and had lasers going, hit it
Mm-hmm.
this way, this hard, and it goes there, bounce, bounce, bounce. I'm pretty sure that's the way Dad saw things,
Yeah.
but without Al on the side coaching.
Well, I also had a pool table in the basement. It was a used pool table, had a nice little in the middle.
Hmm.
Well,
Once
the student
once
lounge
you learn the curves, though,
the student lounge happened to have pool tables at the time, and me and an Arab friend named Aziz used to go down there and play. Now Zizzy only had one eye, and being back in the late 70s, we were still dealing with chauvinist pigs who would come in and think, "Oh, here's a broad and a one eye, we can beat him." Having one eye is very helpful when you're doing something like shooting pool.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have to close one.
Yeah. So between him, that ability helping him out, and me knowing how to play on a whooped pool table, a straight pool table was easy. For about a month, we were making good money, and then they quit playing us for some reason.
There's
didn't have any damn money left.
well, the reason why it confused people at the pool hall with me shooting right-handed was when I started working at the pool hall and they noticed me writing down their table times with my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, "Wait a second. I thought you shot right-handed." "I do." "You write left-handed though." "Yep."
Mm-hmm.
"Can you shoot left-handed?" "Not accurately." But there was 2 guys in the pool hall one night and they were just going on, "Oh, no one can beat us. No one can beat us." Well, my buddy Randy, like I said, was very good with banks. You could leave him pretty much any shot on the table. If he didn't have a straight shot, he could generally bank it in. Another guy at the pool hall could cut the color off of a ball. So it didn't really matter where you left him, he could generally cut it in. And they were on 2 separate tables and they just kind of looked across the room at each other like, do we want to team up and, just rob these guys of all their money? Because these two
Yes.
used to gamble. These two used to gamble each other, which was always a good match because you got the one guy who can bank anything and the other guy who can cut anything. So it was, one of them gets to the table, they're generally out. You put the two of them together playing Scotch doubles, and it doesn't matter how the other one's shooting at that point. took-
One strength augments the other one's weakness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They took them for about $500 that night. A man.
That's some good shooting there, Tex. Oh, oh, all right.
All right.
One-eyed partner. There was one of the quality control guys at work that had a glass eye, and he would test stuff and go, "Hey, this is garbage. We got to put this on hold and make some adjustments." And somebody would always come up and go, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Show me the. No, wait a minute. I don't believe this." And he'd pull his glass eye out and goes, "Maybe you need this more than I do." People eventually stopped questioning him for some strange reason that I can't fathom to this day. Oh, needless to say, we tried to keep him away from vacuum cleaners, and nothing like having to take apart a vacuum cleaner to get an eyeball out. I mean, seriously. Um, compressed air was
Crawling around the floor looking. What'd you do? Lose the contact? Look up at him. No, lost the whole eye.
Oh Lord, miss that guy. His son-in-law is still working there. Very good dude. Very good dude. Both of them actually. Um, I'm gonna miss. I am going to miss having so much fun making fun of everybody that can't do what they're supposed to do once I leave. I'm just looking at them and I'm going, "No child left behind," right? Let's see. Carry the two, and oh Lord. Actually, I have been told that some folks are dreading the day when I actually retire because there's there's stuff I can do that they think is absolute magic. And I'm not talking about being able to put a pallet 3 stories up on the blasted shelf on a forklift. I'm talking about I can look at something and go, that ain't right. No, that's not gonna pass. And they go, test it anyway. I'm going, you want to waste my time? I'll test it. It's not gonna pass. Doesn't pass. Uh, it's half a century of experience
Mm-hmm.
walking around going, oh, that's good. Oh no, I can look at it and say that ain't going. No, that's never gonna fly. It's just it's like Robinson Crusoe going, um, there's never been a footprint there before. Um, run away, and it's the same damn thing. Um, you know what quality looks like, even if you can't enunciate it,
Mm-hmm.
even if you can't describe it in language that is comprehensible to somebody that can't look at it and say and know whether it's good or not. But it's just that world of experience. Um, and when I'm gone, somebody else is going to have to carry the load, and I don't know that they have the drive for the absolute honesty that it takes
Oh, you were
to
dense
be
all
able to
day.
make the call. You know, you've got to be able to stand up to somebody important and go, that ain't cutting it.
Mm-hmm.
and make it stick. And a lot of them are just, hmm, wait a minute, I'm playing World of Warcraft on my phone, and I'll look at that later. And
One one of the guys that we just hired from Indot over at our company, it's kind of like that with concrete, and it's rather
yeah,
scary. Which I can look at it. I can generally watch it come down the chute and go, okay, that's like a 4.5 inch slump, give or take. But that man will sit there. He'll look at it, rattle off the slump, fill up his bucket, kind of slap the top of it a little bit, see how sticky it is, and go, it's about a 6.5% air. And then he'll take a little bit in his hand, kind of roll it around, and go, oh, that yields off though. That's gonna be low. I'll be damned if you don't run. If you run the numbers, air will come out within margin of error for the 6.5%, and the yield will. He'll just that's probably about 0.97. I'll be damned if it doesn't come out around that.
yeah. Um, when you do something long enough, you you develop the instinct for what's supposed to be right, and when it's off, you can tell.
Mhm. Well,
There was one machine that I could run. I could tell by the sound it made
mm,
whether or not it was working correctly. And when it was just about ready to call a maintenance man and go, something needs to be fixed. I don't know what it is, but something. And after I'd done it for 20 years, I could call the maintenance man and go, this needs to be fixed right now. And this can wait till next week.
mhm,
But this one, I I'm sorry, it's a 16th of an inch off. I'm sorry. And they just look at me and go, that ain't good enough. No, it's not good enough. This side is lower than that side. It's going to cause stuff to spit out in the floor and get thrown away. Level it up, please. It's all. It won't take you 30 minutes.
mhm.
Just level it up, and eventually they would have to. And it turned out that yeah, it was right. I was able to eyeball it enough to go. That side's closer than that side. That side's going to spit stuff out in the floor. This side's going to cause it to break. Which way you want me to adjust it? I can do it. I can run it without maintenance having to fix it. How much scrap you want to make?
Mhm. The scary part is he was only with NDOT for on the construction side I think for 4 years, but concrete to him just made sense. He
Yeah,
hates asphalt, absolutely hates asphalt, which is funny because that's the project him and I are going to be on this year.
compression ratio is different.
But well, then it burns a little more if you just walk up and slap it to see how sticky it is. Uh,
Yeah, technical testing is definitely right out. Gloves exist for a reason, dude.
but asphalt is more my strength because that he his first well hell I think every project he's been on except for one was all concrete. He was either doing bridge decks or roads on the interstate. I started off around asphalt for most of my projects, so asphalt makes sense to me. I can tell when it's coming out the back of the truck. If if there's a certain color smoke coming off of it, it's like that's way too hot. That truck's rejected. You're burning off all the emulsions. I there's certain things I can see with asphalt that he can't. You
Yes,
know,
Mhm.
yes.
so but it also asphalt bores the hell out of him because while there is testing for it, we do not do any of the testing.
Mm.
Our job is to say, okay, put your plates down over here, let the paver go across it, and throw it into the box. And then it gets shipped off to a lab. That's the extent of our
Yeah, yeah.
testing of it.
You get the
Um,
feeling he wants more control.
yeah. Well, that and with concrete, you know the results instantly.
Yeah.
Asphalt, it's going to be about a week and a half, 2 weeks before we get the results back, and then if it fails, we got to wait for NDOT to say, okay, well, it didn't fail that badly, so we're just going to ding them on the cost. Or they come back and say, yeah, that's just a total crap mix. You need to rip
Oh,
that out and put in something else.
they finally got the second section of that bridge that they've been rebuilding for the past year
Hmm.
in my hometown down here, and the temporary that they put up as a bypass around it is starting to sag in a couple of places because it was quick and dirty, and
Hmm.
now when you drive over it, there's this God Almighty bump where one section has sunk below the next section,
Hmm.
and you got an inch and a half difference between the two layers of pavement. But this is the temporary. But you know, they've been working for a year on this thing, and they finally got two of the three segments of the bridge done. Weather has not been cooperating. It's not their fault. Um,
Yeah, but this thing temporary it isn't meant to be temporary for that long generally.
uh-huh.
Yeah, out
Now
by us.
there hasn't been that many complaints about the bump because most folks around here have been used to roads paved in the 60s and not anything more than patchwork done since
So
then.
then,
But this bridge is it's very important this bridge gets done, and if the weather would let them do the work, they would have been finished by now. But we've had a year and a half worth of crap weather.
Hmm.
I mean, they're lucky if they get 2 days a week they can work. Otherwise, it's pouring down rain.
When when I was working on the new US 31 segment out by South Bend a few years ago, or god damn near a decade ago now, um, there was a little county road that we took to get over to one of the on ramps that was built. The road wasn't actually open to the public yet, but so we'd go around our little barricades and get up to the project. And the county road needed a little TLC. And they finally came out. They milled out a little section, and a few days later, were heading out to the job site, and they had their paver and everything out. We're like, okay, they're finally going to pave it, be a nice smooth road, or at least that section of it. I swear to God, I think they rolled it with a sheep's foot roller instead of a regular one. And if you're wondering what a sheep's foot roller is, it's a roller that has nubs about yay big coming off of it.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
We
I'm
went back to the field office to finish up our paperwork and went down said county road. And as we're flying up on it, went, oh shit, we need to hit our brakes. We thought we thought it somehow potholed out that quickly.
no, no. Those potholes were engineered in.
Yeah, we drove
Mhm.
across it. You saw three state vehicles stop and three state inspectors get out and go, our maintenance units wouldn't even do this. And they do some dumb stuff. We called up our boss. We're like, hey, when you come back to the office, take this road. Why? Just take it. You'll thank us later. He comes walking in the office. He goes, who in the fuck gave that order to roll it like that?
Hmm.
Yep. Now, as to this temporary bypass around the bridge, we the county residents realized from the start that this greatly resembled the racetrack from the Speed Racer movie because it unexpectedly went like this and then like this and like this and I'm just going, you know, if it weren't for the fact that the bridge is going to make everything better again, I'd probably just like to park my car and rent a canoe to go across this river to get to the other side and go to the grocery store. Okay?
Do you like Oregon Trail? Would you like to take the ferry or ford the river? Uh,
Well, I didn't want to John Ford the river, but or Francis Ford Coppola the river. I mean, surely there's got to be a better way than having the gangsters in New York shooting at you. But
Well, you don't want to jump for the theater either because you'll end up falling.
Get out of my head, Don. It's just exactly where I was thinking.
I think, Rich.
oh, he's finally connecting with all of us. Uh,
just worry when you start connecting with my head. Uh,
We have connected.
We already connected earlier, Joe.
well,
really. When you can snatch the pebble from my hand, grasshopper. I mean, seriously. Anything that you think somebody could do wrong
oh,
can
good morning, Mike Jimmy.
possibly wind
You are
up
going to have to get a manicure soon. You can't
being
retract
done
them all the
under
way, can you?
a government contract.
This will be fun.
Oh,
Trying to manicure him. He cannot retract his claws all the way.
Ooh.
Oh,
Did you see the video of the dude biting the back of his cat's scruff while he was clipping his toenails? Yeah.
that's
It
bonding
works.
on a whole nother level.
We need to get a de-shedding brush for him first before I do that.
Well, it works, but I'm like, gee, dude, you could have somebody just hold the scruff and it'll, calm him down.
I wonder.
Rather,
Hey, everybody
The
has their
hair
own
clip.
kink, so I'm not judging.
I wonder if like some of the hair clips, the ones that if you set just right and they're brown, they look like a damn tarantula. I wonder if you put one of those on the scruff, if that would simulate.
That is kind of pointy, but that might be the point. Got to work better than a potato
I'm
chip
thinking of
bag
doing it
clip.
the easy way and just paying the groomer that's
Hire somebody. Yeah, really hire
3.5
somebody.
minutes away.
yeah, there's a place in town called it's something Clippers with a K for the Clippers, and for $25 they'll come to your house and trim your animal's nails, along with other things. But we had to take Cal in for his yearly booster shot, and Carl's trying to catch him to put him in the thing, and of course he gets scratched, and I'm looking at him like, you mean do it like this? And I pick the cat up by the scruff, and the cat's like, Okay, carry me anywhere.
Mama says I got to do this now. Yep.
His
And
grandmother,
Stinky Pete, what do you mean, crazy Western prospectors? I ain't even wearing my cowboy hat. Uh,
his grandmother
I,
was a mutant. So, there's the spot where you can pick them up where they can't turn their head to tag you. I had her in that spot. She still managed to turn her head somewhere and tag me. I think she had an extra vertebrae or two in her neck. Yes,
or
your
just
grandma was
evil
a
intent.
bitch.
I keep telling Carl you need to buy welding gloves.
She gave me a blood blister through a decent pair of leather gloves.
Oh, yep. That's a cat.
Right? Yeah.
That's definitely a cat.
She's lucky that it was me that she tagged and not Misty or the kids. Because
Ugh.
otherwise we wouldn't have Barry
Oh,
because she would have died before his daddy was born. Just
Yeah.
as Uncle Kisa would have been born.
I remember the time when a flea treatment involved a dishpan of chemicals and heavy duty farm gloves and baptizing the cat.
So this was back, and this was a dog, not a cat. One time we had to buy enough that we could fill a kiddie pool with the stuff, and then I had to pick the Doberman up, carry it like you would carry a baby calf, and then dump it and push it over, and then run. Now, she was a good dog. She wouldn't have bit me hard, but she definitely would have tackled my ass.
You did this to me.
Oh, we have a visitor.
Hmm? Mr. Pete?
No,
No,
private
someone
chat.
cometh and
Oh,
and, and,
private
and, and
chat.
they brought
Okay.
coffee. Apparently, you missed the ding again.
Well, there's just so many of us dings here.
Damn it.
Good morning, lovelies.
I did
Good
not
morning,
even
Mike Jimmy.
hear. I'm sorry, Mike Jimmy.
No, I
I
kind of
was
figured.
I was hoping you were on your way, but I did not, and that takes care of the prospector thing. Um,
Yeah.
although
You-
you got looking crazy covered, so that fits in with the rest of us. But
I decided that yesterday we were going to. So my new work adopted a gorilla at the Amsterdam local zoo.
they'll put
Rich,
anybody in management nowadays.
Yeah, I
Rich, you
know.
got adopted?
No,
That's what I was
they
saying.
sponsor them. Like that's what it comes down
The
to. They
heck?
sponsor them.
Yeah.
But so this was a very official thing, and I decided, you know what, let's go nice. So, um, yeah, I went very nice. I had my hair loose. I had rings. I had, you know, the whole shebang. Normally things that make my girlfriend go, ooh. I mean, there's literally only 5 guys working there, and there's 9 ladies upstairs, working in actual management. I might as well make a good first impression because
Hmm.
I literally have worked there for a week. I have talked to 3 ladies there, of which one is the boss. So I woke up with, this is already brushed.
You,
I
you know,
remember those days.
it's kind of sad. I'm getting more traction streaming Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing on my independent creator channels that I do my own damn shows.
I think Stinky Pete is from your Twitch.
Yeah.
And we had another one right at the end of Stupid O'Clock that I assumed was probably from yours as well.
Yeah, it was from my Twitch.
The One Ice or some crap like
Yeah,
that.
it's from Turkey. Yeah, I'm getting more traction from these two shows than I am my own shows. Could also be the time of day, but
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
More scammers are awake because it's their time.
mm-hmm.
Very fair.
Mike, the package should be going out next Friday.
Oh, cool.
How long it'll take to get from here
It depends.
across the big pond, I have no clue.
For Daphne, like if I get packages from Daphne Lage, they're less than a week. But I've also waited for like 2 months. I don't know. Like nobody knows.
Could be 5 minutes. Could be 5 months. We don't
I was
know.
gonna say that's not bad. It took 4.5 months once for something that I ordered from overseas.
It took 5.5 months for something I ordered from Atlanta. It's only 90 miles away.
I was about ready to say there's been stuff that it's taken.
They shipped it to Timbuktu and then off to China and back. And it still had to go through Atlanta twice.
Took 2 weeks for the package to get to me. The package originated 3 hours south of me. To get to where the second stop was, they literally had to drive 15 minutes away from me. So it went from middle of Indiana to southern Wisconsin, back to Illinois, back to Indiana, to me.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I could have drove down and picked it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had something that I forget where I ordered it from, but it went to Chicago, went past Danville, down to Decatur, went past Danville again up to Watseka. Why it went to Watseka, I have no idea. That's a podunk town compared to Danville, and Danville's not that big.
Because it was mentioned in Twister.
The Watseka Light, probably.
One of the Christmas presents my wife ordered me this year made it all the way from California to Hobart, Indiana, and then got lost in the mail system.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, Hobart is the next town south of me, and technically, even though I live in the town of New Chicago, my address is Hobart because we share their zip code.
So
Right.
I bought Misty a bunch of soaps from Bed Bath & Beyond to be delivered to us. Which reminds me, I need to go back and look at the account to make sure that was credited. But anyways, FedEx claims they delivered it.
Yeah.
You know, they claim that they left, you know, that they claim that nobody was here. Well, the thing is, if nobody was here, why is there no tag on our door saying we missed you? And now, well, okay, not and now, because it was a couple of months ago. It was back in January that all this crap happened. You know, they're like, well, you know, we can't find the shipment, you know, because it took a couple of weeks, and I'm calling. I'm like, can somebody tell me what's going on? I want to make sure that this doesn't get shipped back to the shipper, or to the original shipper. So, you know, finally they put in a request to track it, and they're like, we're sorry, we lost it. We can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. how are you going to make it right? Because it shouldn't have to be the shipper that eats the cost because they gave it to you in good faith. You lost it. My answer was, talk to Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, Bed Bath & Beyond refunded it with no problem whatsoever because they didn't have that product in stock anymore, which is the reason I was buying it, because it was like 75% off after Christmas.
Mhm.
So it was a bunch of Christmassy, wintry scents for hand soaps and stuff like that. So I'm like, hand soap works just fine, just hand soap. It doesn't have to be cinnamon mocha latte chai with 3 shots of espresso scented.
You don't want hand soap that smells that good to where you're walking out of the bathroom sniffing your hands, because you're still going to get odd looks from people.
Dude, smell this. No, get away from me, you freak. It smells like lemon. The hell did you eat that it smells like lemon?
Oh, lemon.
Soap.
And if Joe Dog says that to you, you definitely want to worry.
He's really, dude, smell this. Not today, Satan. Mike, Jimmy, I just today did updates on the music program. I now have 800 new instrument voices.
Nice.
They're all very short, and I'm sure that we're not going to find any hip hop stuff to do with Life on Korra. But I thought, it's free. I might find a use for some of it somewhere, sometime.
That's another thing that will be happy at Hallowcon. I can get some tutorials from a master.
What, you mean animation?
That possibly too, but I am nowhere near good enough with my art to try to animate something. I also have the same music program that Danny does. I bought it for the Christmas sale where it was like 80% off.
Sweet.
All right. I'm not sure what I could teach you other than don't
makes
be
you go
afraid
big.
to experiment and trust your ear. Basically, what I do is listen to it and go, "Ooh, I could use this," and oh, that's almost right, but I need to chop the end off of it, or I need to chop the beginning off of it. You take
And
all
of course,
you take all the fun out of music.
the other side of it is
I pretty much need to have about 500 copies of those to hand out at work.
so I gave Misty a couple of those so that she can show some of the girls at work that she's friends with and stuff like that. Apparently, I need to print out a couple stacks of that for her friends so that her friends can give those out as well. And one of the providers wants me to put their name on it so that they can actually say, "No, seriously."
I would be passing those out like candy on the job site.
And they would be snatched up like candy on Halloween.
Avery 28 371.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
You've got to be careful with those, though. They can get off center in the printer. And not left to right, but up and down.
Mhm.
Well, that's why I leave plenty of white border around these and stuff like that. So I always do a test print to make sure that everything's good, and then I'm like, all right, I can batch these now. But yeah, for something that is a throwaway, literally, that it's just, hey, I'm done with this conversation. here's my way out of this. I don't care if they're off center. Now, when I'm handing it out to my friends, I want them to have the pretty ones.
Yeah, but when it's your get out of this conversation free card,
You can just
You know what?
walk.
You just give me another idea.
do not pass go, do not pass along your idiotic suggestions to anybody with a brain that actually functions. Have a nice life.
Just make a get out of this conversation free card and go, oh, hey, wait, I've got something for this. Hand that to him and just book. I'm just like, get out of conversation free. What?
Put an asterisk on it and do not use against manager, boss, CEO, etc., etc.
Maybe I missed my calling. Maybe I should have gone into marketing.
Or at least greeting cards.
Because, I mean, people adore this.
So
People adore the weird shit I do here.
get out of conversation free, and then in small print, put see reverse side. On the back side of it, put this could have been an email or text.
I approve.
No, that one you need for a get out of meeting free card. This could have been an email. This could have been a text, but no, you're an idiot.
This could have been a memo posted by the time clock that I still wouldn't have read.
This could have been a post-it note. Seriously, I have been in so many meetings that could have been a post-it note instead. It didn't even take time for a memo, a text, an email. It could have been just stick it on the bulletin board and hope people notice.
And some of them could have been a post-it note that never left their office because ain't nobody going to follow it anyway.
All right, I need to write that down too. No, I just had an evil thought.
I'm sorry, no one has time to put up with your ego. That violates laws of physics. Please go back to your office, take your laptop, and shake it back and forth till your Etch-a-Sketch goes to reboot. You can tell I have been working in the industry for too many decades.
I want to print a shirt now that says, this meeting should have been a 3 a.m. drunken booty call that I ignored. Glad I got that out before you got the can to your lips there, Dan.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking, if it'd been from Susie in personnel, I wouldn't have ignored it. But
Well,
I'd much rather stay married the rest of my life. Okay.
I've been in so many meetings that it's like, this is so poorly thought out that a 3 a.m. drunken text is worded better.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, you would have stayed married for the rest of your life. It's just you wouldn't have too long a rest of your life.
yeah.
The rest of your life, all 5 minutes of it.
It is till death do us part, and it doesn't say which one has to die.
I did.
It doesn't say that the mode of death either.
I did meet my wife in a serial killer chat room.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I try and keep Lindsay happy. She
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
she knows more about how to make bodies disappear than 99% of the forensic scientists on the planet.
I
You
keep
know?
my wife happy because she plays with swords and watches murder documentaries while sharpening knives on a whetstone. There's nothing
Same
creepier.
principle. Same principle.
I keep my wife distracted with WoW. And then if she starts coming at me, I just put a bunch of rice down on the ground, and she's got to walk around the granules because she's so short she can't get over them.
Oh God, Rich! I hope she doesn't watch a replay of this.
I've said that to her face. Although earlier today, she and my middle sister almost ganged up and kicked the crap out of me for me making that comment. Because I'm like, here's the thing. You know, if she's pissed and she's coming for you, just scatter rice because she doesn't have a ladder to get over the grain. She's got to go around him.
I was hoping that you weren't implying that she had some vampiric ancestry where she had to stop and count them all.
And the sister that I made that joke at today is the one that was dropped on my head as a child.
Oh,
I wasn't dropped on my head as a child. My middle sister was.
well,
Dropped
Carl
on
has-
your head as a
yeah.
child.
Carl has to be careful because I not only have many books of how to do it, I will watch many murder stories because of
And
my
she also paid cash
tinnitus.
on him.
Because of my tinnitus, I leave the TV on all week, and it's usually turned to Eye on Mystery, which I still can't get over. They've got one show called Corrupt Crimes. Does that mean there's non-corrupt crimes out there?
Yeah, those don't involve politicians.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
literally
the non-corrupt ones are for us regular folk.
Yeah.
Us peasants.
Mhm.
The
But
people
usually
that are
it's-
stealing a loaf of bread and ended up
Mhm.
labeled 24601.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my sleep, I am hearing murder on a cruise liner, dead by morning.
Oh, and you guys are going for a cruise in a couple of years, aren't you? Over in Germany.
Hmm.
Well, she might be, but Carl might stay home all of a sudden.
Yeah, we're talking about going down the Rhine because neither one of us want to be so far out that we can't see land. And if you go down the Rhine, we figure there's going to be land on each side.
Oh yeah.
So you're taking the Mary Shelley tour.
And on Viking, of course, which is
You know, it would be a whole lot more fun if they'd let you actually burn and pillage the villages as you pass.
wouldn't it though? Actually,
Oh God!
come to find out, Viking is for older folks.
So
So
you just symbolically burn and pillage the village. You hit the bar, you have a couple of drinks, you come back to the boat.
I want to buy huge tracts of land scattered along huge tracts of land. Going back to our Monty Python, no, but I want to get huge tracts of land on either side of a river, just in different spots, and have a literal Viking cruise where you get to go and burn down the villages because it's land you own, that you have these houses that people can just go, yeah,
That would be awesome. Being Sagittarius, I kind of like fire.
actual Viking.
So, going back to a much earlier
Somehow I feel
conversation.
responsible for that particular reaction.
Going back to a much earlier conversation, talking
And
about
I'm proud. I'm
St.
proud.
Pat-
I'm really proud. I'm sorry to
Talking
keep interrupting you, Joe.
No, you're fine. Talking about St. Patrick's Day food, I think is what you were talking about, Richie.
Yeah, traditional
Some
Mongol dinner.
Yeah.
Mm.
I had mentioned that I was going to show this during Green Room the other night and totally forgot. but I had gone to a buffet at a tap house. They were doing a St. Patrick's Day buffet. Did one Friday and Saturday nights both. It was $18, all you can eat. They had shepherd's pie with lamb and beef, Irish stew with lamb and beef, Irish cheddar mashed potatoes,
Oof.
cabbage noodle casserole,
Okay, that's got possibilities.
cabbage and potatoes, cabbage and
Bubble and
carrots,
squeak.
and corned
But
beef.
that's what it is.
I'm sorry, it's just he keeps coming up with these cabbage things, and I'm like, my stout German husband can't eat cabbage, and that's like a German staple, you know.
Allergic or just does not agree with him or
He becomes Joe Dog.
oh
Gives him wind. Yes.
Oh, honey, that's a whole fucking tornado. Sorry.
That's all right. Our ratings just went up. I mean, seriously.
Yes, I'm making fun of your daddy. Go away.
Misty lucked out last night because one of the dogs decided to pee in the hall. So we were cleaning up and stuff like that. So I had taken and Febreze the entire hallway and Autobanned it. And the scent of the Autobahn was coming under the door. So she's like, I have protection now. I'm like, damn it.
Oh, yeah. I had corned beef and cabbage last night.
Oh, I
Hold my
got
finger.
it good because I was eating on it a couple hours before she got home because it was made in the pressure cooker, so everything got to stay warm. So just afterwards, you know, I was cleaning up the dishes for her right before coming back in the green room, and I cracked one off and I crop dusted it across the entire apartment. She could not get away from it. One of my favorite things is when my tummy's rumbling at night, we both have CPAPs. So usually we're pretty safe because usually it doesn't get near the intake of the CPAP. Well, sometimes it does. And then it's trapped in the mask with you. Oh my God.
There are times when I'm glad I'm not breathing impaired.
I love it when
Oh, no, that
I
makes
get
me
woke
sound
up-
like a vampire. I'm sorry.
I love it when I get woken up by what's wrong? She's like, you didn't even wake up when you did that? Did what? You cracked one off. All right. Good enough to choke you through your CPAP. Sorry, Donna.
Okay, Donna, breathe carefully through a filter. Oh, shit. The last thing we need is for Carl to have to call 911 because we made Donna stop breathing because she's laughing so hard.
Let me put it this way. If I should die laughing at you guys, I have left a note that if I die laughing, it's Carl's fault. So y'all are going to be blameless.
Sorry, we have witnesses. It's not going to float.
So down at Hallowcon, sneak Carl a bunch of cabbage.
No.
No. And then I'll consume what usually gets me rather windy myself, and we'll go up against Joe Dog in a battle of trumpets.
I do believe the Geneva Convention bans that kind of chemical warfare.
Yeah.
You still want me to come to the U.S. or what?
Mike, you might be able to even if you stay where you're at, you still may get hit by it.
There's
Really?
just one problem with
Just get a
that one.
hazmat suit.
It's like nuclear fallout. It's going to spread all over the world.
Well, the spread is the word. There's one problem with that. Carlo's at the age where you do not trust a fart.
Point taken.
We do not want that happening.
Okay, don't trust a fart is a thing in our family too.
Mhm. There comes an age when a pocket knife is a necessity, not just a tool.
Crow will kill me if they ever watch this episode.
She will.
tell
They
them.
will.
We
But,
won't tell them.
I will. I've got no problem. Yeah, so she's got to choose my old age home and stuff like that. You know, she also has to remember that if she cheaps out on it, I probably will escape.
I do
if you
believe
revert
that is
to earlier
probably why they're
mentality
going to
and knowledge,
choose a cement mixer for your retirement home.
but when we're still in the house, we're sitting there. Misty and I are watching probably some flavor of Forensic Files and playing World of Warcraft. And from the hallway, we hear, "Oh no." About a half hour later, Crow comes back into the room, dressed completely differently and hair soaking wet. She's like, "I trusted a fart."
At that age, you usually can.
I was going to say, at that age, the O-ring normally still holds true.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm sorry. He's describing when Crow is our age.
No, Crow was 12, maybe 13.
Uh,
Oh Lord.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is historical rather than
Yes,
futuristic.
Yeah.
like I said, this is when we were still in the house. And just we hear, "Oh no," and we didn't think anything of it. And then, like a half hour later, Crow comes back in to grab something off the couch, and we're like, "What's going on here? You know, why'd you take a shower in the middle of the day?" And she's like, "I trusted a fart." So
Training for middle age.
Wow.
okay, so here's the thing: Crow's an Asplund. Being an Asplund,
I was going to say.
we have powerful gastronomic responses.
It's called explosive decompression. Don't dilly dally around it.
Well, a lot of times we'll call it jet assist, because as we're trying to get up off a chair or off a couch or something like that, all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, that was a little easier. People aren't going to breathe behind me, but hey, I got out of that chair, without my knees saying, you know."
And why is the house on fire?
Yeah, we like to call it
Rug burn.
Rug burn. No, that's a totally different activity.
Misty gets mad because for some reason, every time Misty tries to crack one up, she feels great, just enormous pressure. It's just and done. Just nothing to it. Just barely a whisper. It sounds like you rolled over in bed. And here I am cracking them off for a good couple of minutes at a time. Okay, so Thursday's stupid o'clock start is now becoming the end for Last Man. We're bookending with gas.
At least we're ending it. Yeah,
or
Rich.
in the 1960s movie, or it became necessary to destroy the world in order to save it. That was there was a movie called Gas with like 17 extra S's or something, and the subtitle was "It became necessary to destroy the world in order to save it," and it was less entertaining than this show.
Uh, yeah, Rich, you sound like my family. My oldest niece is just the sweetest thing. Very petite, rather prudish, and yet, especially when they were younger, would sit beside her three brothers and have a farting contest. And she's got this cutest little impish grin. And she'd grin and she'd lift one cheek and fart at one of her
Oh.
brothers, and then it was like on. Like, yeah, she's a baker.
See, my
That's
wife has
George Carlin routine right there.
my wife has a minimal sense of smell, so I can let one crack, and she never even realizes it.
Misty
I
used to not be able to smell very well and stuff like that. But apparently, at least one good thing has come of our marriage is I've been able to clear her sinuses for her. I managed to burn through whatever was blocking crap off. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the same thing, Joe. I can smell good smells really easily, but if it's a bad smell, I can't. It has to really be bad for me to smell it. Like the time I was in the back of the car and both my dad and older brother cut loose.
Well, she when she caught COVID the first time, we were leaving Tap House from breakfast, and she looks at me. She goes, "I couldn't smell the coffee." I'm like, "Okay, I didn't realize you actually could, because your sense of smell is just the side of non-existent." And she goes, "No, that's one of the few things I can actually like smell." I'm
Hmm.
like, "Oh, that's not
Not
good."
good.
I couldn't imagine life without being able to smell coffee.
I
Oh,
wish I
Well,
could.
here's the best part. When she got her sense of, you want to know how she realized she got her sense of smell back?
Hmm.
She was helping her friend Steph move. You know Steph, Richie. Um, Moving from one apartment to another. She goes walking past one of the neighbors' apartment doors and goes, "Steph, I got my smell back. Your neighbor's smoking weed."
Not the
What
kind of
is
thing you want to shout at the top of your lungs, no matter how happy you are at the return of a basic sensory detection. Um, I'm
My neighbors smoke a ton of weed. There's times that the smell is very prominent in our living room, and it's like neither of us partake of that, and neither of us like that smell. And then apparently they're out of weed the past few days because we can smell cigarettes so badly it's not even funny. And that was even before bringing the couch in, even though the couch, we know that there's going to be the smell of cigarettes in the house because of the couch now, because my parents chain smoked like fiends. So everything in that house smelled of smoke.
Mm-hmm. One of these nights, I gotta get my wife to stay up late and come on this show.
she'd be a load
Are
of
you
fun.
sure?
Oh yeah, Trey's
seriously.
a
Yeah.
blast.
Trey
Yeah, she
is absolutely precious. I swear, I love her to death.
Yeah, she and Joe have been adopted as my younger siblings, whether they like it or not.
Oh.
You know, that's one bad habit that I have never been able to detect at Hallowcon is smoking weed. I'm sure somebody there does it. I
My
haven't
brain
the
went
faintest
to crop dusting, so
I haven't the faintest idea who it would be. I don't care. But it's something that even though I know exactly what it's like from 50 miles away, um,
Oh,
I've never encountered that particular cloud of sensory overload.
Well, that's because there's a different cloud of sensory overload coming from the ringmaster of the show.
I was just thinking, a perfect way to start doing some protests or counter protests is start seeding the crowd with people that have powerful explosive decompression, as Dan would like to say. Um, Feed them all they can eat, whatever gives them their power, and just have them walk through the crowd. Things will thin out real quick. Oh my God! The police are throwing chemical weapons at us. The police haven't done a goddamn thing yet.
The police ain't even here. Uh,
I'm still dialing 911. What do you
Over
mean?
there. Really. Um,
now, I'm sorry. Confession time. Lindsay told me because she's going to be gone all day tomorrow, I should go ahead and get whatever munchies I want to get me through. And I got 2 cans of chili flavored beanie weenies. And I had one tonight. I had one of those cans tonight before the show. So far,
beanie
no
weenies.
biological reactions have taken place. So far, I have yet to go to bed.
I was gonna say we don't have much time left.
I was gonna say I've seen you light a couple cigarettes, and the lighter doesn't seem to be puffing out any farther. So
Nope, 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 nope. Nothing untoward has happened as of yet. It usually takes halfway through the next day, but I'll be doing, while Lindsay's gone, I'll be doing plumbing repairs. And that is not some kind of that is not some kind of code word for sitting on the toilet. No, I've got I've got to repair the 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 water valve on the toilet is leaking drastically. So I've got to take a torch to that thing and take it off and go down to the hardware store and make sure I get the right size valve to go back and be soldered to the pipe
Mm.
so that the toilet does not the valve does not drip and just flood the bathroom. We got a little bucket under there, and since the leak from that valve has been manifesting, we've been flushing with the valve on and then turn the valve off so we don't have to ice skate during the winter time across the bathroom floor. It's just one of those annoyances that it has to be fixed. It has to be done. I've already got the torch and all this other stuff. I just have to make sure that I get the right sized valve to fit back on the
You poor
pipe.
Donna.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining the torch, and then woof.
This is why I'm glad she's not going to be here because
Do you have
Hey,
just have a fire
I'm just
extinguisher
hoping that
near?
I'm just hoping there's not any laundry lift hanging to dry.
Be sure and have a fire extinguisher. We don't want another Keisha thing
I,
going.
Yeah.
I've got three fire
Thinking the
extinguishers.
same
Thank
thing.
you. I have already put out one fire in the house back in 2007, burned up an entire window and destroyed some of my artwork and
You know,
exploded several unopened cans of beer on a shelf. I mean, collector cans.
we
Um,
forgot to ask Keisha last night if she finally got her fire extinguishers in the mail, if she'd unpacked them and placed them yet.
Probably
Because just
not.
because they've been received doesn't mean that they're actually
they're out
properly
in the
in place.
barn. No,
They're still on the porch.
Would not be surprised.
really.
I love her dearly, but it's no wonder she's blonde.
She leads an interesting life.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about the Chinese curse.
Yeah.
Mm,
And not that I wish that upon her or anything like that. It's just, but sadly enough, that being cursed, actually fits, with the weird crap she brings in.
Mm.
well, you met Dolores. Well, not in person, but you've seen Dolores. So
I
this is
actually
this is
wondered.
punishment enough.
I actually wondered if Doris was the one who started the fire because Doris, uh, because she's always talking about burning the house down. Yeah,
I find it very
she's a
difficult
twisted
to
little child.
comprehend how one of those pellet burning stoves can um, actually set itself on fire unless they're very, very negligent about cleaning the flue.
They
I was
said
going to
Well,
she
say,
said they had cleaned it just like the week before.
the
So
thing
unless you have to do
is,
it more than that, I
that
wouldn't
was
know.
that bad sleet storm where things were icing over.
That's
mm,
true.
If her ventilation did not, if her ventilation got crusted over and iced over, that could cause the backgassing, which could have caused it.
yeah.
And I did ask her whether or not she has one of the shut off valves in the flue so that it would close and smother the fire. That seems to be standard operating procedure for wood burning, coal burning,
Yeah.
pellet burning, chimney sort of things. Um, but
If it closes correctly, the
well,
flue on
she's
the
she's
flue on our chimney is broken shut. You can't open it, but it's still got enough of a space that when the wind really blows, our chimney chirps like a bird.
well, she told me that there wasn't one of these safety valves in the flue,
Of
and
course not.
these are designed to keep the wind from blowing
Mm.
back down into the stove and causing it to
Okay.
become a steel mill, basically, a blast furnace.
I wonder if
And
it's original to the house. I don't know.
I it can't be. It can't be.
No,
Oh.
not as old as that house is.
It's got to be
They
aftermarket.
half-assed it, yeah.
And somebody did not include the safety device in the install. So I'm you know, this
Probably a
is just one of
DIY
those
project
things.
that ended
Yeah.
up almost doing them in.
Well, it's something that I have a lot of experience with from my childhood in East Tennessee, and it's something that would be easily overlooked by someone without that sort of experience. Like your grandparents and great grandparents depended on this to keep the wind from blowing the fire out into the house from the stove or the fireplace, that sort of thing.
And they
Uh,
lucked out that it happened while they were away and just getting back rather than when they
really,
were asleep.
the
Mm.
monoxide from that would have been horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if it happened while they were asleep, they might not have figured it out until more of the house
On fire.
was
Yeah.
engulfed in.
No, Rich, they might not have figured it out until they were autopsied. If they'd been in the house and that had happened, the amount of carbon monoxide would have been deadly. And
Mm-hmm.
they
Well,
would never have woken up to put the fire out.
with what happened with the back gas, well, okay, with what happened with the fire being caused, I'm saying they're lucky that that fire happened when they were away, not asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I still haven't figured out how, since they just got home, she was barefoot.
Keisha?
Yeah. Because she was talking about taking Dolores out to the car, and
Barefoot, yeah.
she was barefoot taking Dolores out in this cold to put her in the car or the truck or whatever, so that
That's
she'd be
not
safe there.
that's nowhere near inconceivable. There was a better word for that, but I can't remember it right now. Keisha is probably, and this is just my read on this wonderful little girl that I love with all my heart. She probably kicks off her shoes as soon as she gets in the house. Like some ladies go, "Oh, freedom," and
They do.
unholster the puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I do both.
seriously, yeah. And her being barefoot inside the house does not strike me as being unusual at all. Um,
You know, yeah, I'm just thinking, you're walking in, what are you doing? Staring at the fire while you're kicking off your shoes?
mm, no,
It's,
Unless she comes in through a different room.
you kick off your shoes before you go into the room where the fire is. And then you go,
Uh-oh.
ooh, wish I'd kept my shoes on, but it's time
Mhm.
to evacuate the premises.
mm-hmm.
Yep. Um, and as much as we make fun of Keisha for being the
Blonde.
poor, the poor little witch girl, so to speak, um, she's she's been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
She's got survival mechanisms that some of us have never even figured out a need to have, and she has survived a lot
Mm-hmm.
of shit that would have decimated many people, and still is going, and still is innocent as all get out in her
Yeah.
outlook on life. Seriously, everything she's been through, and she still is like, there have been few people to ever actually harm her outlook on life. Now, there have been people that meant her harm, and she has had to run away from, or some form of escape. But it's never it's never made her paranoid. You know, the usual response of, "I'm never going to let this happen again. I'm going to be hyper alert from now on."
Mhm.
Uh-uh.
Well,
She
sometimes though,
just,
paranoia can be our friend.
oh
Oh yeah.
yeah, seriously. But she's always just been, well, this is life, and I'm happy. And she greatly reminds me of one of my grandchildren who just can't see any harm in anyone, no matter what they do. I'm going, somebody is going to mess you over one day, honey, and when you
Mhm.
lose that innocence, you are going to be so angry. And I hope I don't live long enough for that person to ever hurt you so that I have to witness it. Otherwise, well, life in prison is not that much of a deterrent at my age.
Yeah.
Oh heavens! You care about people so much, and you want to protect them against their wishes at times, and it's a 50-50 chance that that's actually a good thing. And then you go, well, when is it your duty to decide that they are non compos mentos? I mean, seriously, it's not your job. How do you get to make that conclusion? How do you get to act on that with confidence and not be an asshole? Um, I really, you want to do what's right. You want to do what's best, but are you wise enough to make that choice? That's what I keep asking myself because there's a lot of folks that I look at and I go, wouldn't trust you with a burnout match.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take care of yourself. When is that my call? I mean, seriously, when does that become my call? I'm I'm not it's 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 not my responsibility. Yet I feel like occasionally it might be. Um I can't be father protector for the whole world. I'm doing good to be able to do it for my own kids.
So
Uh,
I
and when
shouldn't
is
have
that
said.
wise? When is it wise? When do you have to say, okay, if I do this, they're never going to learn how to take care of themselves. I got to step back. When is that a smart thing to do? That's a father's dilemma.
Yes.
When do you let them make their own mistakes and learn from it? And when do you go, okay, I got to step in? When is it right?
Misty and I are having that with our middle child.
One could also say that's true of a friend too. That I don't feel bad for telling somebody no last night.
Yes, I comprehend.
Ah,
Yep. Yeah.
Hmm.
And he had rather shocked look on his face when Aunt Donna told him no, he wasn't going to drink himself stupid as hell. And somebody turned the conversation, so I couldn't tell him. There's nothing I can do here. Nothing I can do in the green room except kick him out, and that's not going to help. He was probably would get drunker.
Yeah.
But I know his medical condition. I know that heavy liquor is going to kill him. That ain't happening on my watch.
and the fact that he
And he
said, "I guess I'm not coming," after you made that comment,
then
just says how much he needs the
the
help.
the
Mm-hmm.
hard liquor. Yeah.
Well, that's
If you're choosing the bottle over letting your friends see you
Trying to kill yourself.
survive,
Hmm.
you know, because it's I'm not even going to say live, just survive, and it's I I really like the man. He's a good person, but once he starts getting too far into the bourbon, if he's just drinking beer, he seems fine.
Yeah,
As soon as he starts kicking back on that bourbon too much, though,
or the fireball,
Mm-hmm.
straight from the bottle.
I want to reach to the and slap him. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
No, I've run into the same thing with
and
myself.
I think he's just a little older than my son. So, um,
In mid-30s, I think,
yeah, my son will be
something like that.
31 this year. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's going to be lucky to make it to 40. But Aunt Donna's got no problem if she's in person saying, "You're not taking that drink because that's going to hurt you, and I'm your friend, and I'm not going to let you hurt yourself."
I've run into the same thing myself. I can drink beer all night. When I start drinking liquor, I'm going to do something stupid. And I don't want to do something stupid.
I
So
just run into numbers. I
well,
still got a knot. It's been a year.
and then again, at Hallowcon, Chris and I went through
Two
the
bottles of Statesman.
one bottle of Statesman, two bottles of Kraken,
Okay.
and and one of them was the 90 proof because the liquor store at the bottom of the hill did not have the 70 proof. And I'm going, well, needs must when the devil drives. And there was also other stuff involved. Stuff meaning more alcohol of different kinds. And neither Chris nor I were uncontrollable or actually even noticeably impaired,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird because usually that much liquor, my wit is dampened down a bit. My reflexes and my mobility might be hampered because I'm
Oh, I was going to
shit
ask,
faced. But
were you like Johnny Fever?
no, I didn't start chasing 18-year-olds. No.
No, no, no,
Uh,
no. You don't remember that episode where they had Venus Flytrap and Johnny Fever was each taking a shot to prove that your reflexes went down,
Mm.
and they had this cop there with the breathalyzer, and yeah, Venus is like, "Whoa," and Johnny was like, "Bing, bing." The more he drank, better
The
his
faster it
reflexes got.
mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
until
Nope.
he,
Nope.
and
I can't claim that one. I can't claim that one. I can
UKRP
say
in Cincinnati.
that even after the third time that Chris had to wheelbarrow Joe Dog back to the room, I was still able to get up and walk back to the room. Now, I won't say it was not against a stiff breeze uphill both ways, but uh, I was very glad that I didn't try and use the stairs because I kept stepping on my coattails. You remember the long black coat. That's the
mm-hmm.
one drawback of the thing. If you're going up steps, you're gonna step on the coattail.
Mhm.
And falling up a flight of stairs is a talent that I no longer wish to demonstrate at my
Oh,
age because I'm getting fragile. Um,
oh, honey, I can trip on air, so they were falling upstairs is nothing.
Well,
no,
gentlemen and lady, I'm going to take
What,
off.
like, there's a lady here? Oh, it is. We have been going 2.5 hours. The Witzman dude's gonna
No, he's not.
Decided not to complain anymore after the 5-hour show.
That he was part of, yes.
Yeah.
No, the 5-hour Last Man Standing.
But
Wait till I
I'm
retire. It'll be a 24-hour last man standing.
Um,
24/7, 365. Just join when you want to, leave when you want to. I'll be sitting here going,
All Dan, all the
"Wherever
time.
you are."
I hope
Yeah.
you have multiple hail pails.
All,
No,
all
I'll
the
just
Dan you
clock
can
out
take.
and go down the hall and come back in. I mean,
That's what the
seriously,
Bluetooth's for.
I'm not the least bit embarrassed about going, "Hey, I got to piss. I'll be right back." Seriously. Oh, Mike,
Just do what
Jimmy.
Nick does and get ads for your friends and just going down the hall, play the ad, keep your headset so that you can hear what's going on, kill your mic so that you're not
Well, the
peeing
answer on that.
Broadcasting to the
or
world.
dropping your deuces for the world. I don't remember eating that. Why
Was
does it smell like Cool
Carl's
Ranch Doritos?
little picture for the green room where there's Calvin sitting there. It says Daddy's in a litter box.
Mhm.
Hmm. I have actually used that one on the dog, and she does not understand what a litter box is.
That's where you go to get tasties.
The forbidden crunchy chips. On that note, folks, I will call it a night, and I will hopefully
Good
see you
night.
all
Good
next
night,
week.
Joe.
Good
Night,
night,
brother.
Joe. Yeah, I probably should wind this one up because our 7 dedicated fans are going to complain about me going on and on and on and on.
No more than usual.
Yeah, we gotta go
Hey.
check on chickens and a cat tomorrow.
I do actually have 32 subscribers, so like that's going to be an Olympic record. Mike, Jimmy, I'm sorry we did not give you opportunity to talk very much tonight.
No, no worries, no worries. I'm waking up. I honestly just like hanging out with you guys, and I don't always need to talk.
You'll be ready to go to work and grin all day long.
Sadly, it's a Sunday, so there's there's always work, but like I'm alone, so.
Well, Luce will be back soon.
Yeah, no, she should be back next week. So
Next week. Well, that's not soon enough. Tell her to get a move on.
no. Now, I'm actually looking at the live sailing. Like I can show you guys. So there's. Let me see. Where is it? There. So you can see the ship. You can see the ETA. So this is the ship she's on, and she is right at the top of Spain.
Oh yeah.
And I think she's having a short stop there, and then she will continue to Brest here in France.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, and she
I always
came-
knew those French were pretentious, naming a city best.
Yeah, no, Brest.
Oh.
It's just missing an A. And she came from here, Ponta Delgada, in the Azores.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's 1, 2, and then she'll be home here.
Oh, look at all those ships.
I know, right? It's busy. It is very busy.
Damn, that looks like my imagination. So much shit. Not enough time to describe it all.
There. So yeah, she should arrive there at about 9. So in about in half an hour, they say, but it's probably going to be later. Don't think I'm going to have a call. I don't know. But yeah, and then it's another week, and she should arrive next week, Saturday, in France, and then she will be in the Netherlands on Sunday. So
Just in time for our next madcap adventure. Uh,
yeah, she should arrive at around 9 a.m. on Sunday. So I would have pretty much because she's driving
yeah,
to.
we're not going to last that long on a Saturday night. So,
She
Oh, you never know.
Yeah, it's my
well,
Sunday
well,
morning.
yeah,
We
but
have
still,
before because we've gone to 3 o'clock, which is currently is 7, unless your time changes next week, and then it might be back to 7 hours in advance instead of only
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, no, it's next week we're going back to daylight savings.
well, it would be wonderful to meet her before
I was going to say I have 8:28.
Hallowcon. But
Yeah.
if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's just the way things work out. Um, and if you're madly in love with her, the way I think you were madly in love with her, she's going to be awesome.
Oh, there's
She
one-
was delightful and fun on the 24-hour stream.
She is
Mhm.
wonderful. And yes, I absolutely adore her. She is amazing. And yeah, I dearly miss her. It is so quiet around here. Like Shelby is a screamer. I mean, she wants all the attention all the time, let's be honest. But it's not the same as having breakfast together and stuff like that.
Yes, it never is. It never is. And the thing is, when you find someone like that and you want to spend the rest of your life with them, any time that you're apart is absolutely horrid. And anytime
Honestly.
you're together is absolutely wonderful.
And fleeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, time has this way of screwing
Going by.
everybody
Yeah.
over equally.
There's one
Uh,
more thing that I have to update you guys on for Hallowcon. So the planning is for me to have my driver's license, but in order for me to drive in the United States, I will need to have it for over a year. So I will not be able to drive in the United States.
Not
Well,
legally, no,
legally.
but that doesn't mean we got lots of people who can't drive legally
I was
here
going
and
to say
now.
doesn't stop anybody else in the States. So
Seriously, never stopped my second wife. She drove for years
The
without a
problem is I'm
driver's license
foreign.
at all.
If I get caught over there, I am in bigger trouble than most people.
This is true.
I mean, a
So,
fine is for poor people. Like a fine is to contain poor people. I understand.
mm.
I do not want to be bailed out by my dad because I'm driving over in the United States and him going, "We told you about this."
you're on your own. Thank you very much. Good night.
And the thing is, at your height, one of the first responses might be one hand firmly on that taser if they ask you to get out of the car.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you get out of the car and you stand up and you stand
I
up
unfold.
and you stand up and you stand up and they go, oh, he's a
Son of a
big
gun.
Because I get that at 6'4", and you're taller
Yeah.
than me.
Exactly. So, not going
Well,
for
I'm
any
also
trouble.
like 3 of you wide too, so that might have another,
I'm just the eternal stick.
Yep. You just go, "Hey, excuse me, officer, didn't you see me in Star Wars? I played the Wookiee."
Exactly. I'm the tree in the background.
Yeah. Practice your Wookiee rumble. You might get away with some stuff. Oh. So my best friend, I wanted to beat the boy. So back ages and ages ago, back when we were 16, so 30 some years. We are going about 100 miles an hour on a back road in a 1975 Chevrolet Impala,
As you do.
or as some people like to call them, aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
Coming over one hill that the back side of it is this steep down, so it's
Catching air. Yeah. Streets of San Francisco.
my tires were still above the light bar on the police cruiser when they lit up. When he whips around and catches us, because we heard "Twoo-twoo," and we're like, "Ah, son of a!" So we slow down, pull to the side. We're sitting there waiting. So the cop walks up. Thankfully, it was a young cop. Walks up, leans his head in the window. "Do you know why I pulled you over? My best friend, without missing a beat. We are not the droids you're looking for."
Oh, that could have gone so many different ways.
Thankfully, like I said, the cop was young,
Hi.
not horribly older than us, laughed his ass off, gave us a verbal warning, and walked away.
Lucky son of a bitch.
That's why I'm like,
You could have wound up
I love the death,
under
but I'm
the
willing to
jail.
strangle him to prove it.
Sometimes being a smartass is not the handicap that it usually turns out to be.
This is also the friend that made me promise when we were younger than the story I'm talking about now. He made me promise that if his family does not, acknowledge and fulfill his wishes for his funeral, it is my job to pull it off, which means that if his family says no, I've got to steal his body, dress it in a Darth Vader costume, and burn it on a pyre like the end of Jedi. And he also wants me to hire a bunch of dwarf and midget actors, dress them up as Ewoks, and make them sing Yug Yug.
Does he have any idea how much that's going to cost?
Yes, he does.
He better be laying in a firewood allowance here.
But the thing is, he also knows my ability to be able to redneck shit.
Okay, we're going to put him in a '57 Chevy and throw gasoline in it, and we're gonna get the kindergarten class to watch the movie so they know how to sing the song.
Well, thankfully, all they have to do is watch it for 30 seconds, and then they can dance around and they'll be doing the moves and everything just fine. But yeah,
it's not one of those things that's ever actually going to happen.
I hope not. I can see him trying to pull it off. His other way to prefer to go, which his wife is probably going to allow, is to have a dinner buffet around the coffin, and then a bowl of potato salad or something like that on his chest with his hands gripping it, like he's like, "Here."
Everybody likes tater salad.
No. Not like that.
There's something wrong with the boy, which is why we've been friends since we were 13.
Makes sense.
12. Sorry, crap, 12. Holy crap.
It's at the sound of the tone, it's later than you freaking think. Okay, 2 hours and 36 minutes and 45 seconds.
Say
Good
bye-bye.
night, everybody.
Say
Love you
bye-bye.
very much, and thank you for being here.
Good night, folks.
Bye,
Have a good one.
everyone.
Be safe.
We are exploring new territory.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down.
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 Transmission overload.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.